What's up, YouTube? What's up, friends? How's everybody doing out there? Dude, pretty good right now. Doing a Final Finds video. Gotta focus this on punk stuff. It's been a little while since I've been on the YouTubes. I don't know. I just haven't felt it as much as I was for a while. Would like to get back to doing once a week. See if that all happen. But this video is all the punk stuff that, not all the punk stuff, but a bunch of punk stuff that I've picked up over the past, I think 2-3 months. But a lot of really good new stuff coming out right now. So this one, there's a big chunk of, it's basically all like newer stuff, all stuff from the last, from like the last 5 years, mostly. There's a couple exceptions there, but they're also represses that are missing. So that's just all the kind of stuff that I've been picking up. Been on a big kick of listening to punk and hardcore stuff lately. I mean, I always am anyway, right? Pretty much. It never really goes away, but it fluctuates. Like, sometimes I'm listening to more metal, sometimes I'm listening to more punk, sometimes I'm listening to, like, jazz and shit like that. So it's just whatever I feel like most of the time. But today's all punk. It's all punk stuff, all LPs. Yeah, so let's get started. Haven't been doing that much the last couple of months. I've been sick the last like 2 weeks. So that's why, actually it's been like a month. I've had like a terrible cough and it's finally going away. So finally feel comfortable enough to talk and do a quick video. So let's get started on these punk records. That's what you guys came here for anyway, right? You didn't come here to hear me yap. Came here to hear me just yap about nonsense. You guys came here to hear me yap about punk records and such things like that. Let's start off with this one, which I think is, and a lot of people agree with me, this is one of the better hardcore records coming out. One of the better hardcore bands records, and that's Alienator from Portland, Oregon. Killer stuff. Sounds, as you can hear, sounds like a lot just straightforward, like has like a bit of straightforward 80s hardcore, but some crossover stuff in there too. Slightly metallic, but not overbearingly metallic. Excellent shit here. Get little hints of like, let's say like Poison Idea or like Out Cold type stuff, but also there's a good bit of like crossover thrash thrown in there too. A lot of thrashy riffs, like that thrashy dive bomb. Great shit right here, dude. Like, this is an excellent record. Bunch of beefy dudes. These guys come to Baltimore. I'll definitely go check them out. This was released on Blackwater. Blackwater is one of the, you know, it's a premier punk, hardcore, etc., etc., etc. label. But yeah, Alienator, rad band altogether. Pretty freaking sick. There you go. Got the going. Sick shit right here. On Blackwater, so it should be easy to get. What's next? Alright, so next up, I picked up this Stone Cold Classic recently, and dirt cheap too. This is a British band, English band. I believe this is theirs from the early 2000s, but they were pretty active in the 90s as well. This is one that's on Scold and Profane Existence. and that's Hell Crusher's Doomsday Hour. Great crusty stuff, metallic, dirgy, still fast most of the time, just really good. Anarcho lyrics, ass load of songs. There's an ass load of songs on this one. But yeah, great band. Hell Crusher's, I think Hell Crusher is still active, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to find out when this came out. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to you guys, but I'm curious. I think it was early 2000s. I can't find a date on here anywhere. That's a thanks, special thanks. Yeah. No date on here. But Skuld was really active through the 90s, into the early 2000s. This may be a late 90s release. I don't remember, but great record. If you like crust, like if you're like a fan of like Doom or Nausea or like really, I'd say Detestation could fit in with these guys. All that like black and white Xerox copied 7-inch stuff with a little metallic tinge to it. You'll like this. But yeah, I was pretty stoked to get this. I've only got a couple of, I think I've got 2 of their 7-inches, and I've been listening, and I've known about these guys and been listening to them basically since like the early 90s, or not early 90s, probably like the early 2000s, what I meant to say. But great band, Hell Crusher. Actually, let's put them on. I'm just gonna, whenever the one side of the record ends, I'll just put on a new one. Alright. Back at ya. Drinking myself a nice little Spindrift. Soda water. Since I've been sick so long, I haven't really been drinking, so I don't want my cough back. Anyway, next up, band that I mistakenly thought was Indonesian forever. More rip and D-beat stuff. This one has a good tinge of like a Swedish sound. They're not Swedish. I believe they're Australian. I think there's members that are from Indonesia that live in Australia now or something. I don't know. I could be totally wrong with that. But great band right here. This is Lay. Pontianak. And what this is, I'm not going to try and say it again because I'm terrible at pronouncing words. But what this name is here, it's like an Indonesian spirit and folklore of a woman who is exacting revenge on someone, usually a male, and usually they're luring the men into the woods and eating their organs. So that's pretty sick. But this is a great record. It's really good, really very well done. Everybody in here is a good musician. Crusty D-beat stuff. A lot of Swedish influence in here. From what I hear, there's a ton of Swedish influence in there. Big Kriegshot vibes going on. Kriegshot and like early Skid System, stuff like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, this is a great record. Kind of hard to come by though. At least in the US. I got lucky with this, and it was posted on Econogen's Instagram. And I saw it and I was like, I never see that. And it wasn't super cheap, but it wasn't super expensive either. But really cool D-beat, crusty D-beat stuff. If you get a chance, definitely check this one out. If I'm on this video long enough for this to be over, I'll put this on next. Maybe I'll just finish out the video with it. But really sick stuff. I forget how I heard of this band, but they have a new band out called Jutang. I think that's how you say it, Jutang. And they're really good too. So if you find any of their records, I would do that. It came with a sick poster. A nice little booklet with some cool artwork in it. Some very sick artwork in here. A very cool band. Well worth anyone's time to check it out. More new stuff. That one came out in like 2020, 2021, maybe. It's just a quiet part. And that came out like 2021. I've been looking for it ever since, and it's been really hard to come by. So glad I picked it up. More female fronted band here, female or femme fronted. I'm not sure if femme fronted band here. Great vocals. Vocals are ripping, harsh as fuck, really good. But everything about that record is great. Next up, one of my favorite newer DB bands, because they're doing it, still staying ferocious, still staying like really tight and well played, but also kind of getting a little bit of melody and like catchy hooks in there and stuff. And that's Faucheuse from France. This band is great. I have their tape. Finally stumbled across their full length. Really good, tightly played, punk as fuck D-beat. Not a ton of not really any metal in this. It's all just D-beat and punk. Really well played. Pretty sure these guys are in a ton of other bands. The drummer I think is this young guy here. He's also, or maybe it's this guy. I don't know. Whoever the drummer is, also plays in that band Bombardment, which is also an excellent band. This is one of my favorite records that came out. I think did it come out came out last year, and I finally got a chance to pick a copy up, and super stoked about it. Great band. Sorry, I'll move a little faster because I'm already at 13 minutes and I got a ton of records over here. Here's a couple reissues that I just picked up the other day. I haven't even got a chance to listen to them. But these are also Stone Cold classics. Picked up these Lack of Interest reissues. So Lack of Interest, power violence band from California. Does a lot of work with I think they have a split with Bastard Noise. But this is a great band. This one came out, this is their 2005 self-titled record, which I never thought I was going to get a chance to own, because I got the fancy colored vinyl ones, because why not? I never thought I'd own these because they're kind of hard to come by, and I think they're relatively expensive. Which this one I haven't listened to as much. But this one is a complete and utter scorcher of a record. Just super fast, angry, uh, power violence, hardcore, but super fast. Super fast, super angry. It's freaking excellent. And not a ton going on with these inserts. Just an insert and a bunch of cool pictures on the insert. They went pretty bare bones for the most part on this reissue, but I'm just super stoked to get it and have a vinyl copy of it, or any copy of it really. This is cool gold and black splatter. So yeah, I went with the fancy colored vinyls, colored records. But yes, totally brutal, great stuff. This is still floating around. I picked mine up from Rotten to the Core Records, which sells all this the same, everything's in this lane. Not everything they sells in this lane, but they have a ton of stuff in this lane in their record label. So if you like that power violence-y, fast hardcore stuff, Rotten to the Core Records, good bet for that kind of stuff. More Aussie punk. This one's different though. It's not that same rip and D beat. It is rip and D beat, but not the same kind. This is Cream Soda. These guys play Cream Soda, Mango Syrup. These guys play a very specific Burning Spirit style hardcore. They really do. Sounds a lot like what you would expect, like influences like Bastard and Death Side and all that stuff in here. Just really doing really well done, well written, kind of catchy too. There's some catchiness to this. Japanese style hardcore punk stuff. Really, really good. Well worth anybody's time if you like that. If you like Death Side and all that kind of stuff, you will love this. Cream Soda, great stuff. This one's also a fancy colored record, and this one I picked up from 123 Go Records online store. This is another one where I've been looking for this record for years now. This came out in 2000 and it was 2019. I think it came out in 2020. So I've been looking for it since I heard it the first time, and I've been on a search for this one, and it popped up in one of the used batches of 1234 Go, and I've never seen it anywhere else for sale, so I grabbed it. Great stuff. This one's definitely a rare one. That look it up on Bandcamp and give it a listen. Great shit right here. Another one more 1234 Go stuff from that label, or from that record shop. I think they're in Oakland. Yeah, they're based in Oakland, but I get their emails on their used stuff because they have good hardcore punk stuff come through. So I'll check it out and look for that stuff. But this is the first album, EP, whatever, of Muro, 12-inch. Muro's Colombian D-beat stuff. Did probably my favorite record of 2025. That one is definitely probably my favorite record of 2025. But this is D-beat stuff that's really informed by with a big UK 82 type sound. A little less so on this one, but on the newer one. This one's more straightforward, but still very, very good. But you could still get that little feeling of South American hardcore stuff, 80s stuff from South America, like Triple H or something like that. Not exactly, but stuff kind of like that. Very, very good stuff, man, and really cool artwork on all their stuff. and very DIY feeling. Like this is like the flimsiest, the flimsiest little record sleeve I've ever seen. But white vinyl, more colored vinyls. Notice I'm saying vinyls just in case I fall off. More colored vinyl going on here. And I believe this guy, these guys do all their own printing and stuff, so all their records come with like huge posters and inserts. So pretty sick poster there. And this one was released on Beach Impediment, which is one of my favorite record labels, period. They put out great stuff. That's one where it's like most of the stuff on Beach Impediment. If you see that a record's on Beach Impediment, it's always at least going to be quality. Might not be exactly to everyone's taste all the time, but it's going to be a quality record. That's a no-brainer. They're like a no-brainer record label for me. Did I fold this one? I don't know what I did. Anyway. Sick stuff. Muro. Attack Hardcore Punk 12-inch. Another one that's just ripping good hardcore punk stuff. Got 3 more, so 2 of them I'll do together. This one was a in-store find. Picked up the reissue of, I believe this came out this year, but the reissue of Poison Ideas, We Must Burn. The final record with the full classic Poison Idea lineup. A sick record. This is just a classic. I'm not gonna. I love the 90s Poison Idea where they get a little more. They're a lot tighter, a lot more put together. You could tell that they're trying to write songs, not just like, they were always trying to write songs, but it's more put together. Everything they're doing in these years are way more put together. This also comes with a splattering of, there's a bunch of rarities and live stuff on the second. There's a second LP that's a bunch of rarities and live stuff. First record is literally just the record. I haven't listened to the rarities and everything yet. I'm always guilty of that. I'll put on the whole LP and then I never listen to the rarities and stuff, which maybe that'll go on later tonight. But yeah, this is just a Stone Cold classic. TKO Records, as all the Poison Idea reissues are coming out on. Saving my wallet by not making me have to buy originals. All right, Poison Idea. Last but not least, another couple. This was another one that was really high on my list the year it came out, and that's this Physique again. Physique's noisy crust punk, hardcore punk, crust punk band. Are they from Portland? Where are they from? I don't know. They're from the U.S. somewhere. I can't remember where. Are they a Portland band? Possibly. See if there's any clues. Any clues? So yeah, this was 2023, out on Iron Lung. Yeah, I don't remember where these guys are from, but really sick record right here. Does a great job. They're really shooting for that, like, if you can't tell by the record sleeve, they're really shooting for that doom sound, and they really do nail it, but elevate it a little bit. So it's not like they're doing like a carbon copy of Doom. They're doing like their own version of the Doom style and writing their own like very well done catchy songs. Perfect metronome beat on this, pretty much all the way through. Gruff, growly, deep, almost death metal vocals. Ripping guitar tracks all the way through. Loud, thunderous bass. Can't go wrong with Physique. Physique's a great band. Even their earlier stuff. This is probably my favorite thing by them so far. But I'm not sure. I haven't spent a ton of time with their earlier stuff. But this is a great record. I listened to this a ton before I bought it on streaming. It would just pop. It was one of the ones where I would just throw it on, just in my car while I'm driving home from work. I've got a long commute, so I do a lot of streaming on my way home from work. But last but not least, Electric Chair, Physique Split. I had the pleasure to see Physique about a month ago. I went and saw Physique. I went and saw Contrast Attitude. The Brood played. Brood's playing this Sunday. We'll probably go to that. Contrast Attitude, KOS. I'm trying to remember who the hell else played. Insectoids, which is a new band from Philly. My friend Kaiser's in that band. There was another band I was excited to see, and I can't remember who they were. Must not have thrilled me too much. But Physique and Contrast Attitude, great show. Drove all the way up to Philly to see it. Yeah, really great show. It was at the PSLF Fest, Philly Still Fucking Shreds Fest. And honestly, just a great show. Well worth my trip. Got to hang out and see some old friends. Always great. But this Physique record, Electric Chair record, two completely different spectrums of the punk world on this one. Two masters at what they do. So this is by far, this is not a one-sided split. You know how there's like splits that are one-sided splits? No way. This is one where you listen to one side, you're immediately going to the other side. And probably flipping it and listening to it again. So, Physique Electric Chair Split. Probably one of the records of the year right now for me. And it's a split, which is wild. That shit that never happens. See, I love this insert because one side, this is the Physique side, perfectly encapsulates what that band is. This is the Electric Chair side where it's chaotic and kind of out there looking, but simple at the same time. Perfectly encapsulates the other band. This one's also on Iron Lung Records. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I talked your ears off about a bunch of punk rock stuff. But hope y'all have a good weekend, good rest of your week, and I will have more videos coming. I've got a full backlog of stuff to go through. This was my first punk video. I also have a Japanese punk video that I'm gonna do. All the Japanese stuff I've picked up over the past 4 or 5 months, however long. It's been a while. And I've been putting videos here and there, but it's basically just been like bits and pieces of stuff, nothing really thought out. Gonna try and keep up on the videos though. Anyway, I think I say that every single time. But up next, guys, probably next week, I'm gonna try to do Japanese punk, Japanese hardcore video. Keep an eye out. Cheers, everybody.